is Headset Radio.
that a lot of entrepreneurs need to have. So tell us about it.
So I am an accountant and a financial coach, and my passion is actually inspired by my journey. I made a lot of mistakes that a lot of people are making right now, which is being a person who came into, I wasn't born in this part of the world. I was born in Africa and I moved over here some 12 years ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
And coming into this part of the world where you do have a lot of financial inclusion, meaning that you have access to funds that are not yours. You have access to money that's like, it's just there, the credit system, right? You have access to that and you do not take the time to get the education that's needed to help you manage the funds in the way that it should be managed.
Mm-hmm.
That leads you into it puts you in a bind, it puts you in a financial mess because now you're using money that's not yours and you just start getting into this bad habit or this bad system of getting into bad debt essentially, which then causes this thing of credit card debt and you know lines of credit and all whatnot. They're not bad. It's just if you don't learn how to use them, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is to try to bring this education to people so that they could learn how to manage money and they can feel empowered in taking all those decisions that are needed for their personal lives and for their business and everything. So that's what I do, and that's the impact that I try to bring into the lives of the people that I come in contact with.
That is so needed because a lot of times we were never taught how to manage that part. You know, in high school
Yes.
they don't teach you. I know they. I think I had one class where they tried to teach us how to balance a checkbook or something in home ec, but it wasn't enough to say, okay, this is how you read a balance sheet, or just a plain statement where you're looking at how much money you have coming in versus how much you've got going out. They never taught us that.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and and that's one of the really, okay, they're teaching us trigonometry and they're teaching us how to make toast, but they're not teaching us how to manage money. And if you never learn that, that's going to be a difficult road for you when you get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the money is coming in, and we, like I said, we're believing for more money coming in, and this money is coming in, but it's also trickling out because we don't have a plan for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very common because you would see people. The analogy I like to use for that is like you have a bag and you're trying to fill that bag with money, but the bag has a hole, and you keep wondering why is this bag not filling up? It's not filling up because there's a hole in it. So with the financial literacy part of it is you knowing, hey, I need to shut this hole so that my bag could get full. So it's like you're putting it in there and you've got those things you need to do, but it's never gonna be enough. So you keep going out and looking for more and more and more, but you really need to take the time to say, hey, there's something that's not working, there's something I'm doing very wrong, and I need to fix that. And if you don't fix that, then you're always gonna be in the same place.
Yes, and so here lately, I've been discovering about the fears of success, and one of those fears is um, the not trusting yourself with money and being afraid to look at the numbers. You know, you're like, oh, I don't want to open the mail. I don't want to talk to the tax guy. I don't want to do it. And that fear is impacting you for the negative. It's not, you're not getting what you need to get because you're afraid. But you got to look at the numbers. They're just numbers,
Yeah,
and you can make
yeah.
a different determination once you see the numbers. You can, okay. What is it? You need to be aware of something like pain in your body is telling you there's something that is out of order and it needs
Mm-hmm.
to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're feeling the pain of lack or insufficiency or whatever, that's telling you something needs to be fixed financially. and we need to be okay financially. Some people are okay or conditioned to the chaos they've been living in. The robbing the Peter to pay Paul, and that lifestyle has been that way, and so they're comfortable with that. But and it's
Yeah.
comfortable when now we need to get comfortable with the bills being paid and everything in the black instead of the red.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes people, that's difficult. That's a new way of thinking. It's not normal for some people to live in the black, but you'll teach us how to do that, won't you?
Yeah, it's not normal for people to live in the. I think it's just because the society has normalized it. So when you are one of the few people who wants to live in the black, it's like you're weird for wanting to do that. And because we all want to belong, you don't want to stand out. You don't want to be the one who is different from the crowd. So even though you would sometimes know that this is wrong, you do it because that's what everybody else is doing.
I want to live in the black. And I
Yes.
believe a lot of people listening to this right now, we all want to live in the black. Living in the black is great. That red zone over there, you're like, it comes with uncertainty, it comes with a little bit of anxiety. But if we can
Puts you
just
on edge.
live in the black,
Yeah, yeah. So for me, the way I look at it personally or business wise, it comes down to the same thing, budgeting. It comes down to budgeting. And people are going to tell you, hey, I budget, but do you really? Do you really budget? And some people are actually going to tell you, hey, I don't like to budget because the budget is restricting me. But no, a budget doesn't restrict you. A budget gives you the permission to spend money because you plan for it ahead of time. So whether it's for your business or it's for personal, you actually need to make a budget and you follow your budget and be flexible within it. Because say, for example, the way I like to do it in terms of for financial coaching, personal finance coaching is like, you know how much money you're getting in a month. If there's something that comes after us, just consider it a bonus, but you do know how much you reasonably expect to receive within a given month. And you should know how much your expenses are going to be in a given month. It's not going to fluctuate a lot. Maybe sometimes it's gonna, because say for example it's a parent and there's gonna be, if you're in a cold region and there's gonna be at some point in time you have to buy say winter suits or you have to buy winter tires, and those are occasional expenses that are gonna make your budget to go up and down. But overall it's usually about the same thing every single month.
hmm
So it's about knowing what your income is and knowing what your expenses are. And if you take credit out of the equation, you just, this is my income, this are my expenses. How does this income cover everything, expenses, including your savings, your investments, everything? This income should be able to take care of all of that. And the only way you can know you're doing that is by setting up a zero-based budget.
okay,
So a zero-based budget, meaning that you have, let's say you're going to get $10,000 in a month. How are you going to assign a task to every single one of those dollars?
yeah,
Down to the penny. That's the hard part because people are going, okay, my rent is X amount of dollars and you pay it and so if you don't get to do that, it's simple, but it's not easy.
correct,
It's not
correct,
easy because it involves change. It is not easy because it involves doing something you've never done before, which is uncomfortable.
right. So what I hear you saying, and we can you can create a system or a budget for us, and but if we don't make up our mind before we come see you that this is going to be a thing, if we don't make up our mind to follow what the coach says, okay, because the coach, like Coach Cosmo is here, he's a coach that is a physical fitness coach. He can say
Mhm.
drop and give me 20, but if I don't ever drop and give him 20, I'm not going to get the results that I'm supposed to get from the coach because I didn't make up my mind to listen to the coach, to follow what the coach said to do. You're telling us that we need to know what our expenses are going in, what expenses are coming out, and but if we don't stop and make up our mind, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I am going to make a difference and be uncomfortable, because those first few times when you get into the gym, it is very uncomfortable. Your body
Yeah.
is screaming and you're like, I don't want to be here, but you have to mentally engage to make that change. And it's
Yes.
the same commitment mentally to make the change financially. I think, people are waiting for just a lump sum of millions or thousands of dollars to come in, and then I'll make the change and get everything right.
That's never gonna happen. Look about the people who win the lottery, they win a lot of money and then it's gone. A few years down the road, they're like back to where they were. They never made the change psychologically or mentally to say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, or this is how I'm gonna change my behavior with money. And if you don't change, because it starts all with behavior, if you don't change that behavior, no amount of money is going to solve your problems. If your problem is a spending problem, more money is not going to do anything for you.
And so, I'm all about rethinking success and trying to help people be okay with being successful. Here's the thing. You're trying to fix something, and everything starts in the mind, and you can't fix it until you fix your thoughts in the mind.
Yes.
You believe that, this is not going to work, then you're not going to do it, and it's not going to work because your mindset said this is not going to
Yeah.
work.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of people are trying to go forward, and we're trying to do the like somebody wanted to do a 75-day challenge where you drink this water and you do all this stuff. And I was like, but that was their challenge. That was their program.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't mine. That wasn't my. I didn't buy into it. I just was jumping on board because everybody else was jumping on board, and I was like, why is this difficult? Because it wasn't mine.
Yeah. You need to have a reason why you want to do anything. So you would hear a lot of motivational speakers or inspirational people telling you, find your why. If you don't have a why that's big enough or that's pulling you enough, you will never change. You're only going to see the difficulty.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So in your case, about like you were just mentioning, it was somebody else's challenge. You joined it because your why was they're doing it, so I'll do it. That's not a big enough why, so you would never follow through.
And that cannot be your why
Right.
in your when you're setting your finances and getting, eliminating mismanagement and getting to the black, living in black. You're trying to get to the black, and stay out of the red and be better at what you're doing, but you're not going to get there until you change your mind here and decide and make a commitment. And when I say a strong commitment, or decision of quality, is one where there is no turning back. I am committed to living in the black, and that means I got to sit down. Now, in Biz Chicks, we talk about rule number, whichever rule it is, get somewhere and sit down. Because sometimes we're running and running and running, and we don't want to sit down and plan a day for your finances.
Yeah.
Get a day, sit down. It's Friday at 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm working on my finances, or 8 o'clock on Saturday, whatever it is, and get into the habit of sitting down and looking at your income, looking at your outgo, and just sit down and look at your money. Where it's going. Until we get into that habit, we're trying to have $1 million money without $1 million habits.
Yeah. And there's this book I like, which is Atomic Habits by James Clear. What I could pick from that and kind of apply it to budget setting is you could find something that's rewarding for you, or something you really love doing, and say, okay, you stack the habits. I'm only gonna do this thing that I love doing when I do my budget.
Mm.
So you're not looking forward to doing the budget, but you're looking forward to doing that thing you like. So it's like the only way I'm going to do it is if I do my budget. So you stack the habits that way and you force yourself to do it. Your reward then becomes the thing you love to do.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. If every Friday afternoon, for example, if every Friday evening you go hang out with the girls and that's your good thing you want to do, say, hey, 30 minutes before I go hang out with the girls, I'll do my budget. That's it. Simple.
And it's making it easy for you to now, until doing your budget becomes second nature. It
Yes.
becomes the thing that you do, because we do stuff on autopilot all the time, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's not the stuff that we want to be on autopilot. But changing the habit is going to impact what we're doing. Um, so, give us a tip. What is the one tip that you can share that will help somebody get ready?
Get ready to set a budget. Not setting a budget, what has it gotten you to? It's
Mm,
kept you broke. For example, do you want to stay broke? No. Do you want to? So look at what you don't want. Look at what you will get for doing this new little habit and just do it. Because no matter how much information you have, if you don't take action, nothing is ever going to change. So the key is to find a way to make the action easier.
okay.
And that could be by stacking the habit with something that you really love to do. But you just have to get yourself in the mindset of doing it. And that really is about figuring out why, figuring out the time that's convenient, because you have to make it easy for you to continue doing it. And just do a little portion of it at a time. Say, I mean, the first time you set up a budget is going to take a longer time, right? But the next time you go to do it, it gets easier. Just like with any habit you're trying to pick up. The first time you do it, it's probably going to be tough. You're probably going to say, I don't want to do it. But if you get an accountability partner, for example,
Hmm.
somebody who's going to be on your case and make sure you do it, that would be a good thing to do. The whole point is you have to do it. Nobody else can do it for you. You have to do it by yourself.
So
So get yourself, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I heard stack the habit and get a accountability buddy.
Yes,
Okay. Get a buddy. You know how in school, when you go on field trips, they wanted you to have a buddy with you, so that the two of you together and you're not by yourself.
yes.
And I can't think of a better buddy to connect with than Ida. Uh, just reach out to her, because sometimes we just need somebody that's real and not. Her systems and things she talks about is not complicated.
Right.
There are some stuff that is so over our heads, and we're like, I'm not going to do that. But she gave us
It
some
is.
simple tools to help us push forward. And then and I've been doing this quest on the fear of success, and one of the fears of success is like, I'm gonna mess over the money. I don't know, and you keep blocking yourself. And so I invite you to join the journey that I'm on to help people become more comfortable in their success. And so I do have uh, a, a, a guide that has resources that will help you overcome the fears that are associated with success. And you can go to rethinksuccess.co and then just click on the link at the top or somewhere in the copy and download that PDF. And it has some resources on there about how to help you identify and overcome many of the fears that are associated with success. And today we talked about mismanagement. We talked about being afraid to look at the numbers. A lot of people don't want to open their mail, don't want to answer the phone. If it's a bill collector, they just is like, no, I don't want to do it. And if you're in business, you need to answer the calls. You need to, because you never know who's calling you for business.
Hmm.
And if you don't answer the phone because you're afraid of a bill collector, that's going to impact your business negatively. So you have got to be okay with being successful, which means you're gonna need to think differently than you were when you started this. You're gonna think more like seasoned veterans who are making money. We all see what Evan is doing, and Brendan Burchard, and Tony Robbins, and all these different people, and we are reaching, trying to get there. But you got to start with your budget, knowing what's
Yeah.
happening with your money, because you want
Yeah.
to make it. You want the money to come in, but you got to manage it right. You need to manage it well, and it's not hard. It just takes another mindset shift, and it takes time and sit down and do the work. Just sit down. Maybe we need to meditate. I might have to have Jill come on. Jill, with Breathing Space, she comes in and helps us calm our chaos, where you can just come and breathe before you sit down to look at the bills, and why does it frighten you so? And identify why you're afraid to look at the money, why you're afraid to explore what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any final? So, how can we reach you, Ida?
So on Instagram, I'm really active there. It's Ida Coaching. That's my Instagram handle. But I do have a website as well. So on my Instagram, if you just click, there's a link in the bio, and that pretty much takes you to all my social handles, and it takes you to my website. So my website is idaazefo.com, IDAAZEFOR.com. But the easiest way to reach me, though, it's right here on Instagram.
All right. So I want
Yeah.
to thank everybody, Michelle and Cherry and Ron, and all the people that hopped on with us today. We really appreciate you stopping in and for this live. Hopefully you got something from it that you're going to put into practice, and not just watch it and say, oh, okay, that was nice. You know how you flip through Instagram just to see what's going on? We want you to
Yeah.
actually stop and do. Our goal here is to help you be better in your business, help you to succeed, be comfortable with your success. And being comfortable means that you know where your money is going and you're living in the black. So thank you so much, and we will see you next time.
Not experiencing success the way you imagined? Perhaps you have a fear of success. Click the link below to download our free guide with resources to help you overcome these fears. Be sure to leave your comments below, and thanks for watching.
Today you've joined like-minded small and emerging business owners looking to shift their thinking to experience significant success. I'm Francine Gregory, marketplace leader, teacher, and coach.